Hey, Candy Canes, what's going on? It's your favorite candy lady, Miss I Candy, and I am doing the review for The Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 6 Reunion Show Part 3. Now, I was caught off guard because it was a long-ass Part 3. Like, why was it an hour and a half? Basically 2 hours when they had a little portion of it at the end. It's just so long. Gosh, like, they could have took out a lot of that fighting between NeNe and Kenya talking over each other. Yeah. Cut some of that out, okay? Because it was just like, it was good, but it was just too much. I didn't need extra 30 minutes of them arguing with each other, okay? Obviously, them two do not like each other. They're enemy number one, enemy number two. They don't like each other at all. And it was very clear. But it was overwhelming, okay? It was loud, and they just, wouldn't let the other one talk, and it was just, So, anyway, let's go into this show. It started with shade. The first question Andy gave, he said basically that both NeNe and Kenya are 6-foot women that like to run the show, and neither one was trying to bow down or back off the throne. And then he showed clips of them and fighting and all the drama they done had. And then he said, basically the first question was from somebody submitted from Twitter, and they said, NeNe, why wasn't Marlo on Team Rich? Wasn't she one of your bridesmaids? And NeNe says that the reason why she wasn't, I guess, trying to talk to Marlo at the Bailey Bowl was because they had already been going through some stuff, and she wasn't talking to her, and Kenya kept trying to bring her to her, get in their business when she didn't want to talk at that moment. Kenya says that NeNe's controlling. She tries to control the friends. She tried to control Marlo. She tried to control Cynthia. And she brings out a text message that NeNe sent to Marlo saying, if you feel like, it's fine if you want to, I guess, if you film with Kenya, you can't be cool with me, something. She sent something like that. And then they have to go to Cynthia to bring the truth out, because Cynthia was on the 3-way call that they had. And Kenya said, well, they said, first of all, do you think that the reason that NeNe and Marlo aren't friends is because of Kenya? Kenya says, actually, their relationship was strained, and it was happened before Kenya came into the picture. And then they said, well, tell us about the 3-way conversation. And she said, well, basically, she was saying, if you want to film with Kenya, that's fine. You can film with Kenya, but you won't film with me as well, basically. So then a question comes in from, the audience, I guess, were you hanging with Marlo just to get with NeNe? And Kenya says, no, it was not, which she was, though. Like, I think she was, because even when she first met Marlo, that was because NeNe had the girls come on, this little trip or whatever, and you ain't know Marlo ahead of time, so you knew Marlo through NeNe. You already know you and NeNe stuff is kind of strange. Y'all ain't the best of friends anyway, and you reaching out to her friend. Like, this my friend. You ain't even know her. Okay? So don't reach out to my friend when I don't really like you. Like, why are you reaching out to my friend? So that's kind of, I get it. I do get it. And this is, I don't feel like, okay, let's say I got a group of friends. We all friends. We all know each other. And I fall out with somebody. I don't think that my other friends should stop talking to her when they were already friends because of me. But if it's my friend, you know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't even for real friends, but I introduce y'all, and then we don't even like each other. You know what I'm saying? You reach behind my back and try to go get my friend. Like, it was some undermined type shit. You know what I mean? You wasn't trying to check for Marlo. You was trying to keep a storyline going, basically. Okay? Then NeNe, Andy mentioned that NeNe called out Kandi and Mama Joyce in a blog. And this was the blog where Kandi, in her confessional during the big Bailey Bowl blow up, Kandi was like, I've never seen NeNe run from a fight before. And then in her blog, NeNe's blog, she said something like, you never seen me run from a fight, but you never seen me fight. My son was there, and even though I would have liked to throw my shoe at her, pull a Mama Joyce and drag her through the street, I would never stoop down so low in the gutter while my son is present. Kandi says that pissed her off because she shouldn't have brought her mama into it. And NeNe is very unapologetic about it. She don't really give a damn that you offended I talked about her mama. Like, okay, so I did it, and what? So you say stuff, and you dish stuff out that you can't take, which is very true. I agree with Kandi. NeNe will say some stuff in a blog, behind in the confessional, in the interview on Twitter, but when you do it to her, it's a big deal. She can't handle it. She can't deal with it. But I will say this. to Kandi, we all got something to say about Mama Joyce. And yeah, I get it. It's your mom. But don't let your mom be on the show acting damn donkey. Say, Mama, you can't be on Bravo no more. You can't do the shit. Because Mama Joyce was acting ass stupid to the gutter, being low. We done seen her do all kind of shit this season. It was ridiculous. And I mean, I get it. You don't want people talking about your mama. You don't basically want to see it. But it ain't just NeNe talking about her. Everybody's talking about your mama at this point. You know what I mean? It's like you want to be respectful. Oh, it's the mama. I don't want to say too much about the mama. But your mama done lost her damn mama. You know NeNe ain't your friend. You and NeNe ain't buddies or whatever. So where she got to really respect you, she's giving her opinion. It ain't right because it's your mama and I feel it. Because if somebody talk about my mama, I'm going to have a problem with it too. But your mama is acting the ass on television. I'm just saying. And we getting ready to see it again June 1st when she acting the ass on your wedding show. Like, okay. So then, let me see, what else? While NeNe and Kandi was like going back and forth arguing, like she said, I said what I said. Did I say Mama was together? No, but you implied it. But did I say it? I said what I said. And what you said was some bullshit. And all while they going back and forth arguing, Kenya's sitting there like, just like smirking, happy as hell. They arguing like she is like the devil plotting little shit to make people fight and just sit back and watch it. Like, you know what I mean? On the season, when they was arguing, who was arguing? Somebody was arguing back and forth. And then Kenya's confessional, she was like, this was juicy. That's how she was doing. She like planting shit and liking the people fighting and stuff. You know, but I'm over Kenya's ass at this point. Then they talk about the charity. And someone said, you know, that NeNe, did she feel bad about how she conducted herself? Did she think she could do something better? NeNe said that she did apologize basically on her blog, saying that she should have not responded like that. She should have, you know, did a different way and not show young girls to act like that, but show them how to actually deal with a snake when they trying to, you know, do some underhanded shit. And then her and Kenya start arguing back and forth. And then Andy says that, you know, the charity released a statement that you ain't even giving them money for. They said that you gave them $500, you know, donation, and thank you for that. But this whole other shit, whatever. And then Kenya said, yeah, she did give a personal donation of $500, but it wasn't her job to raise the money. They were there. The tables were set up. They were supposed to be out there talking to people and getting the money. Then NeNe says, okay, well, the way you should have handled it was you should have, if you wanted me to go, what's on my hand? If you wanted me to go to do a charity, you know, and wanted me to be involved, you should have called me up and said, hey, look, let's put our differences to the side for a minute to raise some money for this charity. And then she said she would have went. But we all know that Kenya never called NeNe. She sent her an Evite. And we talked about this. You know, that was just, how you going to be having my name on something and you send me an Evite to some shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not how you properly do it. But anyway, then he said, you know what? I'm going to be the bigger woman. Let's put our differences to the side. You choose a charity of your choice, and I will donate $20,000, and I want you to match that. You donate $20,000 as well. Kenya looked like, bitch, I don't want to donate $20,000 to no charity. It was so funny. And then she said she's going to do the Detroit public school system. And then he said, okay, I'm going to write a check, and I want you to write a check too. And she's like, okay. I don't think Kenya's going to write that check. She did $500 to the other one. And she went through all this trouble to plan this event, this lavish event, and all this stuff, masquerade party. You only give him $500. I mean, that's a nice donation. I think $500 is a nice donation because I ain't donating $500 to nobody right now but my rent. Okay. So, whatever. But Kenya said in a blog that NeNe was a washed-up stripper with a few short-lived Hollywood gigs by the same man. That, you know, she ain't the queen no more, basically. And NeNe is, and that was in response. She said that was in the response to NeNe's arguing with Peter, saying that none of these girls was on her level. Which, you know, that's why we don't like NeNe. You know, we ain't been feeling her this season because she thinks she's big and better than everybody. And you ain't, you know, whatever. So then it's more arguing with NeNe and Kenya. Cynthia says she felt offended because when NeNe said no, I was on her level, she feels like, okay, I might not have as much money as you, but I definitely am on the same level as you. Phaedra said, I wasn't in attendance, so she couldn't have been talking about me. And Kandi said, I just laughed, like, I know she ain't talking about me, because clearly, you know what I mean, ain't none of these bitches really on my level, basically. Then it goes back to Cynthia. Then, Kenya was a good, okay, I don't know what the hell I wrote. My notes is all over the place. It was just so long, y'all. So, Kenya says she's a new queen, basically. And they was like, what you mean, you new queen or whatever? And she says, well, I just like to have fun with what, you know, the fans say. I got like 1 million tweets saying I was the new queen of the Housewives of Atlanta. Girl, who tweeted that shit? Who tweeted that? She is not. Oh my gosh. Whatever. So then they talk about Cynthia, you know, her situation. Her sex life is better. They put in a bid for bar 1. So hopefully they can be owning bar 1. They ain't got to go through that no more. Then they asked NeNe of her opinion of Cynthia and Peter's relationship. Because, you know, he keeping shit from her and, you know, jumping in business. She said, Cynthia and Peter, you know, are good. Match for each other. Cynthia is actually opinionated. She's more opinionated. These girls here, no. You know what makes me mad a lot of times that NeNe does? She be like, these girls. Like, that bothers me. Why do you say that? Like, these girls. Like, they really just, these is grown-ass women. But, okay. Then we got to, she said that she basically thinks that they are a good match for each other. They balance each other out very well. She thinks that at times, Cynthia should, you know, speak up more when it concerns Peter, but she chooses not to, and that's just the way it is. Then it goes to Paulo. Paulo joins the show. He got on a blazer and like a t-shirt. And I heard it was like a Versace t-shirt. Or is Versace even cool no more? Maybe it wasn't Versace. It was some type of designer t-shirt. But it was crazy because, you know, when other men come, they all suited out, you know, and he just like, Apollo, the roughneck thug type of whatever. But Andy asks about their marriage, and they're currently in counseling. Marriage has problems, it's ups and downs, and they going through counseling for it. Andy says, how was counseling? Phaedra said, it's good. And Apollo said, is it good? And I was kind of shady, like, well, is it not good? Like, what is it? Yeah, well, you know, why don't y'all tell us a little bit more? But we know Phaedra is not about really putting stuff out there like that. And that's what they said. She, you know, at times she wanted to be like, well, let's not put that out there. And he's like, we need to be authentic and be us. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way this marriage is going to survive, is if I'm able to be me. And sometimes I want to punch him if that's him. Like, the way he talking to her and the shit he do sometimes, that's you. Nigga, get your life together. But, somebody says something in a tweet to Phaedra, like, you know, how do you feel about raising 3 kids? You kind of raising Apollo too. She said, Apollo's a grown-ass man. I'm not raising him. I got 2 kids. He's a grown man. He does what he wants to do. Okay? I'm not raising no man. Then Apollo, they asked Apollo about the identity theft situation. What's up with that? And he said, we're just going to let it play out. We're going to let it play out. And then he goes to Kenya. And he says, but you, Kenya, talking to you, over here, me talking to you, you better hope nothing happens to me. Because I'm your storyline. I built you. I sustained your career. For 2 years, you've been keeping this storyline going up. You know what I'm saying? So you better hope nothing does happen to me. And then the way he was saying it, it was like, he was just like, hey, you, yeah, I'm talking to you. You better hope. Shit, like he was just checking her, like, it let me, and then she was sitting there the whole time. She would not look at him. She wouldn't look his way. She was just like over here. Like, she heard him though. She heard him. And it was crazy because the way he was able to just check her, she got a lot to say. She's talking so much shit. And even like, okay, on the part 2 or part 1, she was quick to tell Phaedra, well, you know, I ain't got to look too far for husband because somebody's husband strays. You know, she got so much to say. When Apollo ain't there, Apollo here, he checking you, say something. She didn't say shit. She had nothing to say. And it was like he was checking her. It was like, you know, sometimes a man, you know, able to check his woman, like get her in line. Some of y'all might say no, but I think it's kind of sexy. If I out of pocket, because sometimes we trying, but they would be like, hey, cut that shit out. You know, be kind of sexy. You be like, oh, yes, daddy. Whatever you say. He is checking the shit out of Kenya. And it clearly showed me that they have smashed in the past. They smashed. They have smashed. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. The way it seemed, the way he was able to just check her and she ain't had shit to say, he done hit that. He done tapped it. So then he says, and if something does happen to me, I'm going to give you my P.O. box so you can put money on my books. I was like, oh, okay. So then it goes to money on strippers. They did like a quick little snippet after commercial, in between commercial breaks, about Apollo and how he had spent $5,000 to $8,000 on a stripper. And he made a good point. Because, you know, I went off with him last time, which I do think is bullshit. You spending way too much money on some strippers. And who money are you spending? Because we know Phaedra, it seems as if Phaedra is the breadwinner. Well, now we know that Apollo had his own little money with this identity theft shit. He had his own hustle going on. So maybe he was spending his own money on the strippers. And hey, that's what you do. That's what you do. But we was all like, well, you spending Phaedra's money on damn strippers? Nobody got time for that, you know? But he addressed NeNe with the whole strippers. He said, I didn't say, you know, I failed to mention that I might be out with colleagues and we spend like a total maybe of $8,000 on the strippers or whatever. But, because you know, some businessmen do that. They conduct business meetings with like big CEOs in a strip club. It works. I guess it's a man thing. I don't know. But he addressed NeNe like, NeNe, you said I should have been spending my money on my kids, but you spend your money on Louboutins and, you know, your purses, your bags. How much did that purse cost you that you got? How much was it? $10,000? She was like 15. And that's true though. Like, you know, we quick to want to spend money on purses and shoes, expensive ass purses and shoes and clothes and weaves. You know, we got to get that Brazilian shit, you know, spend all this money, $800 on damn hair. They can go to the strip club. If that's our extracurricular stuff, that's their extracurricular stuff. You know, like I do understand that, but you need to have it, okay? And everything at home need to take care of. Bills need to be paid. Kids need to be fed. Clothes, school, everything taken care of. Gas in the car before you spend that kind of damn money. Either way, both men and women. You know what I'm saying? But then they discussed how Kenya addressed Apollo, how he will be going to jail on Bethany show, but when they tried to make her talk about this, she wouldn't talk about it. She's like, I'm not gonna talk about that. And then he was like, and you also said that I was on drugs, and Kenya was like, not gonna talk about that anyway. And it was interesting. How she just wasn't saying shit. Apollo was there, she was like scared. Bitch wasn't gonna say nothing. Like she was scared he was gonna knock her. He probably threatened her ass before the show. If you say some shit, I'm gonna choke you up. Like he probably threatened her. I don't know. Then Andy asked Phaedra, somebody asked, I guess, do you think you owe Kenya an apology? Because clearly Apollo was acting up. But she says, no, hell no, I don't owe her no apology. Because from the beginning, you know, from the very beginning of the show when she was first introduced, she's been clearly flirting with my husband. What kind of woman does that? And I addressed her and I told her, I don't want you speaking to my husband when I'm not present. And then we seen shooting behind that shit and swerved her way to talk to Apollo out of there. And then Phaedra says, like, I just want to make it very clear that I have addressed Apollo. And I've also said they were both acting inappropriately. Okay? It ain't like me just going off on her. I have talked to him and I have addressed him too. He ain't getting no pass for this shit either. But this heifer is trying me. And she keeps trying me. So no, I don't owe her shit, basically. And then it's like, Kenya, why did you go and talk to Apollo without Phaedra? Like, you could have clearly had them both there and talked to him. And Kenya said because Phaedra is a liar. And she'll just go out and say that Kenya was doing certain things. And she wanted to have a moment to just talk to Apollo, which is stupid. I don't believe that shit. That's some bullshit. She just wanted to talk to Apollo to start some more shit and to keep shit going and to stay relevant. Apollo made it known that Kenya's still texting him. He ain't get his timelines right because he was like trying to get his phone and stuff. And he was like, a week ago, he was like, last week, 2 weeks ago, you text me saying you sorry you kept, you know, throwing me into the bus or whatever. And it's like, damn, bitch, you know, why you keep texting him? And then she said, he is a criminal. I'm not texting no criminal. And this is my thing. If he's a criminal, why do you keep effing with him? Why do you keep doing this? Like, okay, Mr. Criminal that you are so not interested in, you know, you've been like, well, you know, I was Team Apollo from the beginning. You said that shit when you talked to him. You stared at him all crazy. You throwing out, well, your husband clearly strayed. You was flirting with him when he first came on the show. You was saying how sexy he was. You know, like, if he's a criminal, why the fuck you messing with him? Leave him alone. Leave him and the wife alone. Like, whatever. So then, this Phaedra was saying that, you know, Kenya needs a storyline. So that's why she keeps bringing this back up. This happened in 2012, and this is now 2014, and we still talking about some shit that happened back then. And then it was the read of the night. Now, I have to write this down, y'all, because Phaedra read the shit out of Kenya. I had to stand up and give her a standing ovation. She just read the dog shit out of Kenya. It was just so beautiful, because Kenya said that she fights with her words and she's the best at it. No, ma'am, you're not. Okay, we got a new queen because you got read for filth. I mean, she read everything. She took out the book, put her glasses on, and was reading. Okay, so this is what Phaedra said. She said, while she's sitting around running her mouth talking about my husband and the father of my children, she spends her weekends peddling through sperm banks, flipping through catalogs to try and find a donor. Honey, you don't know if your baby daddy will be an axe murderer or a child molester, because what you will know is that he needed $10 to get a medium-sized pizza, so he ejaculated into a cup so you can have a kid. Now check that. I was like, oh. Oh my God. She read it all the way out, y'all. That's what I'm saying. You don't know who the hell your baby daddy gonna be. He could be an axe murderer. He could be a child molester. But you do know is that he needed $10 for a medium-sized pizza. He couldn't even get a large pizza. A medium-sized pizza. So he ejaculated into a cup so you could have a kid. Yes, honey. Yes. The show should have ended right then and there. It was over for me. It was over. Kenya, boy, and when that happened, all we got was crickets. Everybody was quiet. They stayed, like, had that camera go to everybody's face. Kandi had her head down like this, trying not to laugh. NeNe was like this. Kenya was quiet. Cynthia was quiet. Andy was like, his face was like, well, damn. Like, it was just a read of the night. Okay, this was a read of the whole season. Gone, Phaedra. Gone, Phaedra. You did that, girl. Go ahead. And then Apollo tried to get in on it, which it ain't work because it was over by then. But he said that Kenya needed to get her toenails done because they was dirty. They should have, like, zoomed in on their feet. Then it would have been funny if they really were dirty. Then they talk about, is it hard when Kandi and Phaedra are good friends, you know, and then you got to film with her and you got to be around Kenya, you know, when you know this is your good friend and she's having, like, beef with her. And, you know, Kandi said, well, I mean, it is kind of hard because, you know, I think that at times Kenya has bad judgment and stuff she does. Like, that text was clearly bad judgment. And then Kenya's like, well, Kandi, you know, you really have nothing to do with this. And I just want you to remain neutral. I respect and like the way you remain neutral. You don't get involved in it. And it just seems like, to me, I agree with NeNe at this point that Kenya is, like, plotting and planning chess moves to see when the hell she can snatch Kandi away and get Kandi and Phaedra's friendship to be a little strained as well. And then Kandi was like, well, I'm just answering his question. He asked me a question, I'm answering it. You know what I'm saying? And then NeNe and Phaedra are talking, and NeNe's like, she just trying to dig into Kandi and you mess up y'all friendship and strain y'all friendship too. Like, she's over there sitting next to Cynthia. That's what she did. And then Kandi's like, well, NeNe was just saying that she thinks that you trying to do this or whatever. You know, mess up their friendship. And Kandi was like, that won't happen. That will not happen. I do think that that's what she does, because if they done already squashed their beef, Cynthia, NeNe, and, you know, now they got issues or whatever, you see Kenya being a little instigator. But yeah, because, you know, why can't you be friends with Cynthia? Like, she using it. She using it, and she's sitting next to her. And Cynthia's just sitting there all poised and really quiet and looks a little sad. But you should know when you're being played, okay? And I'm not saying that NeNe's a good friend, because she ain't. I can't stand NeNe's ass either. But it does seem like Kenya is plotting and playing these games, and she ain't the bitch to trust neither, okay? So then we get the men that comes out. And, oh, no, one thing was when they tried to put it on Kenya, like, yeah, you seem like you're trying to snatch friends and, you know, there's turmoil in these friendships. She don't want to talk about that. And it was like, of course, she don't want to talk about it, but she want to talk. But we want to talk about Marlo. She want to bring that shit up, and then she want to go back and forth about Marlo, though. Yeah, okay. So then the men come, and then they talk about Cynthia and Peter. Cynthia, why do you let Peter get out of pocket? Why do you never pull him in? Like, Peter, sit me down, kind of out. She said that he has his own opinion. And Peter says that he's always having his own opinion. That's who he is. You know what I'm saying? And if anybody gonna call him a bitch, that's what they gotta say. He pulled his peach out, took a bite. I'm the new housewife. Okay. Then he let us know that he got 4 baby mamas and 5 kids. Cynthia, you married that shit? How old is his kids? Like, is all his kids grown? Because we know Peter ain't the best with money. So are you paying his child support? Like, oh, no. You got 4 baby mamas and 5 kids. And we know Cynthia and Peter ain't got no kids together. Question? What's that about? Like, I'm just wondering. So then Greg Leaks come. And Greg Leaks said that he wasn't, he said that it was, he said it's a waste. Okay, Grace, Greg, what do you feel about this situation that's been going on with, you know, all of this or whatever? You know, because he went off about how his wife was handled. We ain't gonna talk about that because that's bullshit. But he said that it's a waste of time to keep this going. You know, when he took everyone out to dinner, he shook hands with Peter. He apologized to Cynthia. NeNe apologized to Cynthia. It's been over. And it's just a waste of time to keep doing this. It's a waste of valuable brain power to keep this shit up when it was supposed to be over. Peter actually said that NeNe and Cynthia used to talk 10, 15 times a day. So right now, honestly, it's been kind of pleasant because their ass ain't been talking in 6 weeks. So he might be a little happy they ain't friends, for real, for real. Then it brings up the pillow talk fight. And the question was, somebody said that they think that Christopher Williams did put his hands on Kenya. And then everybody feels like it wasn't aggressive. They felt like it wasn't like, bitch, come here. It was like, whoa, what you doing? You going towards my wife, back type of thing. And Kenya says, regardless of any of you think it was aggressive or not, no man should ever put his hands on a woman that is not his. And then Phaedra was like, but I mean, wasn't he yours once? Like, wasn't he smashing? Ain't that the issue? Like, let's just be truthful. He used to smash you, you know, and he got his wife and you was just mad about that. And that makes a lot of sense. Like, I did say that to Sean G, because I was like, why is Kenya bringing up this stuff to his wife? Like, well, he never told me that you were married. He just said you was a girlfriend. Basically, he said it was Kamala's wife. Like, why would you tell somebody's wife, well, your husband didn't tell me you was married. He said you was a Kamala's wife. Like, why would you even bring that shit up? Unless it's because you're trying to be shady. And why are you trying to be shady? Because you wanted them? Because y'all was in the play together and you was trying to smash? Like, what was that about? But I think that Kenya is incorrect when she says no man should ever, you know, handle a woman. Because if a woman is trying to violently go at his woman and he's, like, able to stop her, he is like, not mine. You ain't about to do this. Hey. He ain't smack her up and grab her and flip her on the ground, but he did stop her because she got up and started charging towards old boy's wife. So, of course, he going to be like, sit your ass down. What you doing? Not her. What you're not going to do is put your hands on her. A man is supposed to be protective of his. And if that's his, regardless of if you feel a certain kind of way because you used to smash him and you do like he shouldn't say nothing, you're not going to put your hands on his wife. Go to his wife in some aggressive type of way. That's Kenya's problem. She go for stuff and then she can't handle it. Like, you got up and you was going to her. Anybody would have thought you was charging and it was about to be a fight. Anybody would have thought that. Ty said it would have been him who did the same thing. Then we get to the party things. Well, oh my gosh, did y'all notice, like, when Phaedra said how Kenya used to smash Christopher Williams, Greg was like, oh my. That's like my new thing. Oh my. So then Kenya says that when she got to the party, NeNe was like going off on the producer saying that she wanted to be the queen, and this girl, y'all, they making her late on purpose so she can be the new star of the show, and she wouldn't know that, and no one heard NeNe going off, but Kenya swears that she heard it outside the door, which was crazy. Apollo did apologize for his behavior with fighting Brandon. He said that he, you know, shouldn't have did that. He said he got hit and he just, like, I guess reflexes instantly just, you know, went in, but he shouldn't have handled stuff like that. You know, in hindsight, think back like, yeah, that was wrong. And he said that he did hit up Brandon and apologize. And Kenya said, you never apologized to Brandon. You was talking to him about, you know, doing the part 1, 2, and the 3 and how Phaedra owns a corporation and she pays you through her corporation. And I don't understand that part. That was weird. And Apollo says that, no, they asked Peter what did he think about the fight and stuff, and he said that Peter said he didn't think that it was aggressive either. He didn't think that Christopher Williams was aggressive the way he stopped Kenya from going at his woman. He said because if it would have been, the real men would have stood up and checked him. And then Kenya says, well, what do you mean by that? Because the real man did get up. The real man, you know, I guess she was trying to make it seem like Peter was being homophobic. you know, with his comment. Now, I was sitting here yesterday watching it with my gay male best friend, and he didn't take it as that, and I didn't either. I didn't take that as he was trying to be homophobic by saying the real man stood up. Because I was thinking, he was thinking like, yo, if, you know what I'm saying, he would have got aggressive, you know what I mean, the real man would have defended you. Like, hey, dude, no, what you're not going to do is put your hands on this woman. I didn't think he meant to call Brandon gay. But Kenya is trying to be the gay advocate right now. She's going that route. Because the gays is mad at NeNe because she was calling Brandon a queen. So she's taking that to try to get all her gay fans over to her side. And me and my best friend was talking about it as well, about the queen comment, because I'm not in the gay community. So I know a lot of gays was offended. I watched, you know, some video blogs, and they were upset when NeNe was calling Brandon the queen. And I personally didn't, you know, like, I mean, I did see how she was sarcastic with it, but I don't think it was because he was gay. I think it was because he needed to sit his ass down. It's kind of like, that girl need to sit her ass down. She knows she can't be fighting this big old thug-ass man type of thing. I didn't look at it like she was trying to say, he's gay, he's beneath me. I didn't look at it like that, but I know people were offended, and Andy addressed that, and NeNe said that, you know, okay, I'm sorry that you guys felt that way. I did not mean it like that. I apologize. Now what are you going to do? You want me to kiss your ass? It was just, okay. So then, I like the way Peter checked Kenya, because she was going off like, the real man had my back. He stood up for the queen, his friend, the woman in a dress, and handled it. And not Apollo, but Peter was like, excuse me, honey, I'm not gonna talk over you, but I like to say something, so when I talk, be respectful and don't say nothing. Like, he checked her. Uncle Ben was like her daddy. Little girl, shut up, little girl. Oh, gosh, I'm almost finished. Praise the Lord. Last page. So then, we go to the Mama Joyce and Todd thing. They asked Todd, how does he feel watching the show back and seeing how Mama Joyce was just talking about him? And he said at moments it was funny, but then a lot of times it was just disturbing, because this is the woman that he's about to marry, his mother-in-law. He want her to ride for him like he do for Kandi. He's very close to his mother, and for him to be, he got the blessing from Candy's father, but he can't get it from her mother. It's like disturbing, you know what I'm saying? And then it's more pillow fight talk about the situation. Then he asked Kandi, do you think I was the one that started that fight? And they going back and forth arguing and shit. It just, that's what I'm saying. They could have cut out NeNe and Kenya's arguing, because it was just so much. Kenya said something like that NeNe paid for her wedding ring, and Kenya said that, I mean, NeNe said Kenya ain't got no money, and Kenya said that NeNe's house is on loan, and she bought Greg a car and shit. It's just like, how do you know this? How do you know who bought Greg's car? How do you know who bought NeNe's ring? How do you know who bought their house? How do you know? Like, we do know Kenya rents her shit. I mean, all this stuff played out on the show. So we do know you was evicted. We do know about the $500 donation. Like, we know that you kind of ain't got no money. And I know Team 12 probably mad at me by now, but I just don't like her. I don't like NeNe either, though. Like, I'm not, because NeNe get on my nerves, too. She was funny in this one because I don't like Kenya more, just because Kenya get on my nerves. But, for me and my best friend was talking about it last night. He was like, well, who is she? Because he don't watch Housewives of Atlanta. So he was like, who is she? Talking about Kenya. And I was like, she was a Miss USA back in 1989. Sometime, long time ago. And she, you know, was an actress. She was in like some low budget movies. I said the movie that I remember her from was Twa. Remember Twa, the first one? She was in that shit. She be in movies that are like made for video movies or made for Netflix type movies. She ain't in no box office movies, you know, so girl. Okay. Like, that was the show though. It was cool. I'm happy it's over. Tonight, what is it? The ATL Love and Hip Hop. Come on tonight. I'm ready. I did not do the R&B Divas. And I think I need to do it. Like, maybe I'll do it tonight. I'm going to try, but it was just kind of boring. Alright, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, share, comment below. Thumbs it up, y'all. Thank you guys so much for watching. And tonight, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta is going down. Deuces.